Well, students, this is my second video on vector. In first, I discussed the definition and types of vectors. In this video, we'll go for operation on vectors. And these operations are mainly addition, subtraction, and multiplication. So you will find that multiplication is again of two types. One is multiplication of a vector with a scalar, and another is multiplication of vector with vectors. So two types here, and when we multiply two vectors, so again we have two types of conditions there. One is called dot product of vectors and another is cross product of vectors. But first I will start what is the meaning of addition of vectors. Okay. So the topic is operations on vectors. Now before I start the meaning of this operation and the types, first I have to explain again the meaning of a vector. Suppose a vector runs between A and B and in the direction from A to B. Okay. So in fact, this represents a distance. It represents a distance covered in the direction from A to B. A distance, we can say that a distance AB covered in the direction from A to B is called vector AB. Okay. So this type of concept or this type of physical condition means it is a case of displacement, because we have a distance covered but in a particular direction. So this represents a displacement. So a vector represents displacement. Clear? Now the meaning of vector addition. Suppose we want to add two vectors. So what is the meaning? And how we get it? Vector addition. Suppose we have two vectors somewhere. One is like this, another is like this. Okay, A and this is B. Two vectors are there. Now, if we manage to shift these two vectors in such a way that, suppose this vector is shifted here and this is shifted in this way. Now in this shift, we have to maintain that whatever is magnitude for this vector here, the same length should be here, and this also should have the same length, and also they should be parallel. So this is parallel to this, and this vector is parallel to this. So we have made the parallel shift without changing the magnitude and direction of the vectors. Okay, now this is the situation in which we have got the vectors. This may be also written as, suppose I am shifting B in this way. Okay, so this is parallel to this and this is parallel to this and this is B. Now the concept behind this shift is that we have to arrange these two given vectors whose addition or whose the vectors which are to be added. So we have to shift in such a way that the terminal point of first A Okay, this is the terminal point. Suppose I write here A and this is B. So AB represents A. So terminal point of A is B and it is also the initial point of B. So this shift should be in such a way that the terminal point of first vector should be the initial point of the second vector. Then only we can define addition of A and B. Okay. So if the vectors are somewhere else, they can be shifted parallel because these vectors are free vectors, so they can be shifted anywhere, maintaining the condition. Now, if we go through this diagram again, so what we find here that if a person is moving from A to B, means one displacement, and again from B to C, another displacement because direction is concerned there, then the distance between A and C and in this direction, because this was the initial point of movement, so the person is going in this direction and then he is going in this direction and then at C is making a stop. So the final displacement of the person is AC, and this is called addition of A and B. Okay, so AC, which is the sum of A and B, is also a vector which is represented by AC in direction as well as in magnitude. Okay, so the initial point of the addition of two vectors is the initial point of the first vector, and the terminal point of this vector, which is the addition of A and B, is the terminal point of the second vector. Okay, so this is called A plus B. So if AB is A and BC is B, then the vector AC is called addition of or sum of A and B, and it is written as AC is equal to A plus B. Okay. Now after this definition, one very unique conclusion is related with this definition, and what is that? If I again go with this triangle in which I have written this vertex as A, this is as B, and this is as C. So what we find that if this direction is maintained, then AB plus BC is equal to AC. Okay, this is from the definition of addition of vectors. Okay. Now, if we manipulate little bit on this result, then we can write it as AB plus BC minus AC is equal to 0 vector, because we know that sum of two vectors is always a vector, so it cannot be absolute 0 or real number, it is a 0 vector. And also, if I want to reverse the direction of this vector, then I should write in this way, because minus AC is equal to plus CA. So what this condition suggests, or what does it mean? that if we start from a point, if we start from a vertex of a triangle, one vertex, and then without changing the direction, if we go to the second vertex, and again without changing the direction, we are coming back to the first vertex. So the final displacement means addition of this all will be 0. Okay, and this is called triangle law. Of vector addition. Okay, so the triangle law has come from the definition of addition of two vectors. So this result is very important. We'll be using very frequently when we go for the question. Okay, now next. So far we have covered sum of two vectors and then triangle law of vector addition. Now subtraction. Subtraction of two vectors. Subtraction is also a type of addition. Okay. Now if A and B are any two vectors, then the subtraction of B from A is represented by A minus B, and it is defined as A minus B means sum of A and minus B. Minus B is a negative vector of B. Okay. Now, how can we show it by a figure? Suppose AB is a vector which represents vector A in terms of direction and magnitude both, and similarly if BC is another vector which represents B in direction and magnitude both, then let us extend this CB in opposite direction, and let us stop at C dash or C1 such that the length BC is equal to length BC1. Then this vector will be minus B, because in direction y it is opposite to this B and magnitude y same, so this is called negative of B. Then this vector AC1 will be A minus B. Okay, so here what we have done, what we have assumed, that AB is equal to A means direction and magnitude both are same, and similarly we have taken BC is equal to B, then we have produced CB in opposite direction, so BC1 is equal to minus BC, So minus BC means magnitude wise they are same but direction wise opposite. So with this construction we get AC1. So AC1 is A minus B. So this is called subtraction of two vectors, means addition of one vector to the negative of the other vector. Okay. Next is properties of addition of vectors. Okay. So that is also very important, and when we go for some complex questions, these basic things are always needed there. Okay. So what are the properties? Properties of vector addition. Now suppose I take AB as vector A, okay, in direction and magnitude both, and similarly one more BC as B. Then we know that this is A plus B. Okay. Now let us complete a parallelogram by drawing this parallel to this, and then this parallel to A and this parallel to B. And it is a parallelogram, that's why the opposite sides are equal, as in direction is also same. So this is also B. Let us write this vertex as D, and this is A. Okay, so let AB be A, BC is equal to B. Then by definition of addition of vectors, AC will be A plus B. Now let us follow these two vectors. So again we find the same situation, that the terminal point of AD is initial point of BC. So these two vectors can be added, and what will be the result? Result will be the vector which initiates from the initial point of first vector, that is A, and ends at the terminal point of the second vector, that is that is C. So we can say that B plus A is also AC. So again, since ABCD is a parallelogram, therefore AD and BC both are B, and AB is equal to DC, both are A. So again, by the definition, same definition, by the definition we get B plus A also as AC. Okay. So if I equate 1 and 2, what we get, A plus B is equal to B plus A. So this is the first property, which is called commutative property of vector addition. So we can say that vector addition is commutative. So this was the first property. Now second. So again I will create one situation, and we'll see that how the sum of vectors is behaving. This time we are going to take three vectors. Okay. Suppose one vector is AB, then second vector is BC, and third vector is CD. Okay. So what will be B plus C from the definition? This is the, we are adding these two vectors. So this is the initial point of B and this is the terminal point of the C, second vector, first vector. So this vector will represent B plus C, which is BD. This is again from the definition of vector addition. Now, if I add A to this vector, so A means AB. AB and then BD. So we are maintaining the same direction. So the definition says that the vector AD will be the addition of these three vectors. Okay. So we have added three vectors in this way. Now let us add, let it be equation 1. Now let us add A plus B first. So for A plus B, we have to take A and B. So this vector AC will be addition of A and B. Okay. And now if A plus B, if A plus B is added with C, that means the result of A plus B, we have got it here, AC, and then C. C is beginning with C, ending in D. Okay. So the vector which will start from A and will end in D is the sum of these three. So again, if you compare 1 and 2, we get A plus B plus C is equal to A plus B plus C. And this is called associative law of vector addition. So we can say that vector addition is associative. Okay, now a very important conclusion. We have seen that vector addition is following commutative law as well as associative law. So we can say that the given vectors can be added in any order. Order doesn't matter here, whether we write A plus B plus C or A plus C plus B or C plus A plus B, anything. Even you add D, then we can add in any order. So this is a very important conclusion. It will help us in numerical questions. Okay. Now, the third property, which is called existence of identity element. Identity element means if suppose E is any identity element and it is operated with any one element under this operation star, it may be plus and minus and some new operations also. So if this result gives you A, whether you go by this method or by this method, means either you are operating the element with identity or identity is operated with the element, the result is A. So we call E as the identity element. This is the definition. Okay. Now 0 vector is the identity vector or identity element for addition of vectors. Addition of vectors. How it is so? Let me verify what is the meaning of this statement. Suppose let AB be any vector. Any vector. So if I operate AB plus 0, 0 vector, okay. So 0, the answer should be AB. So how it is possible? Now see, 0 is a vector in which initial point and terminal point both are same. So this may be written as BB. Okay. Since the initial and terminal point both are same, so this represents 0 vector. Now this is the addition of a vector AB, which is beginning from A, ending in B, and this is a vector beginning with B and ending in B. So the result will be AB. This is the definition of addition of vectors. So what we have seen here, that AB when operated with 0 we get AB, and if I go with reverse order, so in reverse order means what is the result of this operation? So here we may write 0 vector as AA and then it is AB and the result will be AB. Okay. So that means when 0 is added with any vector, the result is vector itself. So we call 0 as identity element. Next, existence of additive inverse. If there is any vector, then there always exists its additive inverse. Additive inverse will be that vector when it is added to the original vector, the result will be the identity, that is 0 vector. That is called existence of additive inverse. So if AB is any vector, any given vector suppose, then BA will also exist. Because if we go in the reverse direction of AB by the same magnitude, we get the vector BA, and when we add them, so what we get? The vector beginning with A, ending in B, and this is beginning with B and ending in A. So this stands for AA, which is 0 vector. And if you go in this direction, suppose I am writing this vector in the first place, then it is BB. This is also 0 vector. Okay. So for every given vector, there always exists its additive inverse. So that is the meaning of existence of additive inverse. Okay. So they were the four properties of addition of vectors. Now I will tell you what is the meaning of one more operation, that is called multiplication. Multiplication of a vector by a scalar. Okay. Scalar means real number. So let A be any given vector and lambda be any scalar, then lambda A is called multiplication of lambda and A. Okay. Now we have few characteristics here. The first important point, that whenever we are multiplying, suppose if we multiply three by A or A by 3, it should be written as 3A, not A3. Okay, so that you have to take care. It is 3A. Second, lambda A, where lambda is any scalar, is a vector quantity. Okay. Next, direction of A and lambda A is the same when lambda is positive. Third, when lambda is less than 0, the direction of A and lambda A are opposite to each other. Okay. Next, so I have written other properties also. Lambda into minus A is equal to minus lambda into A. That means we can multiply in any order. Similarly, if vector is multiplied by two scalars, then this is how the product behaves. Then if lambda is multiplied with sum of two vectors, so that will be the result. And if a vector is multiplied with sum of two scalars, then this will be the result. And the last one, but very important, magnitude of lambda A is mod lambda times vector A. So this is the end of this video, and very soon I will come with next video in which we will go ahead of vector operation.